Hi, and welcome to Ghost Ship on the Horizon.
Yeah, we are here today with a new live stream. Normally, and historically, we have only done these on anniversary, but we decided it was time to do even more of these live streams because they're quite fun.
Yeah, and maybe we should just introduce ourselves.
Yes,
Søren?
I am Søren Lundgaard, CEO of Ghost Ship Games and Ghost Ship Publishing, I guess.
And my name is Mikkel Martin Petersen, and I am creative and game director of Deep Rock Galactic. So yeah, hi and welcome everyone to the
Maybe
stream.
before we start too much, we should just get the team in here because
Yeah.
we're not the only ones doing this today.
No.
So Alex, Aaron, Mark. Jacob is he's just putting in his hand or something in it.
Yeah, so we have I'll just introduce. We have Jacob. He's a community manager. You probably know him from the stream. We have Alex, who is our publishing manager. We have Aaron, who is a content writer, and we have Mark, who is handling all the technical stuff in this stream. It's a complicated thing that we're going to do. So, and they are supporting us. So if we talk outside of what you're seeing, then we're talking to those guys. Cool,
All
guys.
right. But before we go to the agenda, maybe we should just talk a bit about why we are sitting here today with this stream, because it's not called anniversary stream, right?
No, it's on the horizon, and it's called Ghost Ship Publishing. And the reason why we're doing this stream is because with the whole start of publishing, we have a couple of projects now, and just like we want to do open development on the games we develop at Ghost Ship Games, we also want to do open publishing, if you will.
Is that a word?
No, I don't know, but I just made it up. But open publishing, and that means that we also want to let you know about what is going on.
Yeah, and of course we do have some news for you later on, but we would just like to dig into this because for us as a company, going into the whole publishing thing, as we also talked about half a year ago, is a way for us to spread the knowledge that we have learned throughout the developing and publishing Deep Rock Galactic, and involve ourselves in even more game projects and interact with developers, which is what we love to do, of course.
Yeah. And you can say we're basically building on the whole knowledge from Deep Rock Galactic, where we have open development. We want to do early access games in the publishing thing. We want to invest in other developers who want to take the early access route.
Yeah, and as with many other things at Ghost Ship, it's not something we necessarily plan far ahead, but it's more like almost in the spur of the moment. Shouldn't we start a publishing? And we said that a year ago, and now we are here.
Now we're here.
And as with everything else, laying the tracks in front of us, but that's the most fun way to both develop and.
But I think it's also in the whole nature of doing open development, where we can take input from you. And our community. I mean, if we are making all the plans far ahead, well, we cannot adjust to the feedback we are getting. No. And this is a way for us to actually adapt and work together with you guys out there in doing what is right for the games we're doing.
Yeah, and open development will also be a subject and topic today. Throughout, we'll get back to that, but it is something we look for very much in the projects that we publish. Because we believe it's the most fun way to develop games. So we try to encourage and find developers that have the same kind of view on things. And we'll talk more about that later today.
And I think that now we call this Ghost Ship on the Horizon. And I hope that this will not be the last time that we do a stream like this.
Nope.
So expect more to come.
Yeah, and we also recently, you saw Aaron before. He is the guy behind this Below Decks, which is another example of us going back into open development, you can say, finding our roots, you can say. So that's part of this as well.
Yeah, and giving you a glimpse behind the scene of what we're doing and how we are working and so on.
But we have an agenda today, and we have some exciting stuff. Actually, we've been maybe underplaying some of the stuff today that we will tell about. But let's see.
Let's take a look at the agenda. Mark, can you roll the agenda? Here we go.
Thank you.
So right now we are doing the welcome, and very soon. We are gonna have a chat with the different projects. We'll start by talking with Funday about Deep Rock Survivor.
Yeah, and that's of course a very exciting project for us. It's has a live demo out there right now, going into Steam Next Fest, and this is a quite new project, and I'm quite honestly surprised about how much attention it's getting. So it's some pressure on the Funday guys. But,
we'll have a chat with them very soon. But the agenda. Can we get it back, Mark? Thank you. So after Funday, we'll talk with Guidelight, the developers behind SpellRogue.
Yeah.
And there we also have a demo out now, so that's also going to be interesting to hear what they have to say. Then we are going to take a call with Bitfire, who are the developers of DarkSwarm, and they will show us a new material that they've been working on.
There's no demo there because they basically just started half a year ago, but they have made a fantastic progress and built up a cool team of developers. And
looking forward to show you what they have been up to. Then we are going to announce a new project that we are publishing, and of course that's also super exciting.
Yes. So
and after that, we will jump into talk about more Deep Rock Galactic related stuff. And first, we'll talk about physical products that are being made. And after that, we are gonna talk about what we're doing with Deep Rock Galactic and what we're having, what we're working on right now. And that's gonna be super exciting, and you should look forward to that.
Yeah, and for that section, we'll also get a visit from Mike, lead designer on Deep Rock Galactic, and he will go into details on this. So we'll set aside hopefully plenty of time for that section, and should it extend, we'll do that as well, because there might be questions, I guess.
we have a lot to say, but more on that later.
Yeah. All right. I guess we are closing in on the first section. Inviting in our first guest from Funday, who we know, of course, here from Denmark and from Aarhus. So close by. They're sitting ready in the office over there, but we should see a.
They just have 2 minutes before they're ready, and I think I can just say that we have done a lot of these streams so far, right? And this is by far the one we have been planning most, and hopefully everything is gonna run smooth. But it is a big technical setup that we got going here, with a lot of people coming in and meeting us on the chat. So if anything goes wrong, or we have a technical,
I think it's when it goes wrong. Please.
When it goes wrong, then please bear with us. Yes.
Okay.
So, but how are we doing? Are the Funday guys ready? Yeah. Alrighty. Okay. Then I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna start by watching the trailer for Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, and then we'll have a chat with the developers afterwards.
Get ready to rumble!
All right. So that was the trailer for Deep Rock Survivor. Maybe I should just say that it's a bit old, the trailer, compared to where the game is today. But anyways, we have Anders and Rasmus from Funday with us here. Hi guys.
Welcome.
Hey.
How are you?
Pretty good. Been hectic weeks up to launching the demo, so we're just enjoying being on stream now. I should have a break.
Very cool. Maybe to people who don't know anything about Deep Rock Survivor, maybe Anders, you could just tell us a little bit about what is the game about.
So the game is a survivor-like auto shooter. So it's a single-player game set in the Deep Rock Galactic universe. So it's kind of like what I would describe as a big evolution on the vampire survivor genre. So it's one dwarf, a lot of aliens, and a lot of gold, just like you like it.
Very
Just
nice.
like we like it, exactly. And a lot of rock and stoning, right?
A
Yes.
lot of rock and stoning, actually, yeah.
Yes. So you've been working on a demo for quite some time now, or up until because Steam Next Fest is right around the corner.
Yeah.
Can you tell a bit about the demo? How's it going?
Should I? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the demo is doing really well. It's been well received by the community. There's already a lot of players playing it, even before Next Fest. Obviously, the demo is just a small small part of what we want to intend to release for early access. So you have like one dwarf, a scout, and one biome, and so on. But as we see players play it and streamers play it, there's definitely a lot of content in the game. So we're super happy to get live feedback from your community.
So one of the new things compared to you had some playtest before, right? So the new thing in the demo is the overclocks, which I think works really well the way you've implemented it. Rasmus, can you tell maybe a little bit about that?
Yeah, so basically we put overclocks on all the weapons that are in the demo, right? Some are perhaps still missing a few for the full arsenal to be there, but basically it gives you the ability to overclock your weapon at certain weapon levels. Some of them are pretty vanilla, just boosting your stats, and some of them are total
We have
game.
one on the screen there, I could see. Yeah.
Perfect timing.
And I think the system needs some love going forward and going into early access, but I think it's definitely going to be cool and add a lot of depth to the weapons gameplay.
Yeah.
I think one of the really cool thing about the way you have implemented it is that you actually need to level up the guns you have to level 12 before you unlock the overclocks, right? So you have something to work on and sort of like unlocking this, and I think that mechanic works extremely well.
Yeah, it does, and it does allow the player to break the game and be completely overpowered, which is what you want in these kind of games, right?
Yeah.
Find
Yeah, definitely.
where you can just wipe out the entire planet.
I can tell you that I have already managed to bring my computer, my frame rate to burn when when I've really gotten maxed out.
I also watched some streams that where some people that discovered some combinations that made the game almost endless.
It's almost like it's a benchmark, right, for this genre that you really need to.
It's a rite of passage. You need to have streamers that have their computers almost cook for this kind of genre.
For sure. So another difference is Bosco, because in the playtest there was some updates for Bosco, right? And now they're nothing. So what's happening to the poor guy?
So we kind of dialed him down compared to what he was in the playtest because we felt that he wasn't in the right place. So right now in the demo he's mostly there for moral support and for saluting when you rock and stone.
Yeah.
But we definitely have plans going forward with him. We want him to be a support for the dwarf, and we maybe also want to allow you to even center builds around Bosco as well. But definitely the base version of him is working as a support to you.
That's cool. I think one of the, now we're talking about having Bosco as a companion here, right? And I think one of the often asked questions on the forums is why are you not doing this co-op? Obviously, it's a decision we made in collaboration, right? But I'm putting it on you to answer.
So why?
Well, because you told us. No. Well, the genre is by default a single-player genre, where most games are single-player, and obviously we wanted to build that core experience first, giving your players that are used to playing co-op a chance to play something single-player as well when they don't actually have their friends around to play. And it works really, really well in single player. So who knows if multiplayer will come up? It's not on the roadmap right now, but we intend to work on this game for many years to come.
Yeah.
It will make it easier for us to bring your frame rate down, though, if we were doing that, right?
Exactly.
So no, and I think it is. I think it makes total sense that we are doing this as a single player experience, and as you say, it is very true to the genre.
It's also,
So
we wanted to build this game relatively fast. We've only been working on it for less than a year now, and and adding multiplayer just adds complexity. And we wanted to start with like getting this game out to your community as fast as possible, so we can start working in early access together with the community, right? So that's also part of the decision.
Yeah, so you're moving closer. We are towards an early access launch. What's needed? What lacks in the game right now? What's on the plan before the early access launch? What can we expect for that version?
Well, we're working on adding the remainder of the classes now. So
Yeah, so all 4 classes will be in.
all 4
right?
classes are
Yeah.
going to be there. We're also slated to include 3 biomes, which are also well underway.
Yeah.
And of course, we want to add more content of like weapons and overclocks and artifacts and the systems that are already there.
Yeah.
Need a bit more content before we are actually there.
Yeah, it's primarily content and then polishing and balancing the game. When we add 3 more classes, we also add a lot more weapons, a lot more overclocks, which will, make the game more complex. But luckily, it's a genre where, balancing the game is not that tough, because you can just allow people to make stuff that's completely overpowered, and that's just fun, right?
That's part of the charm of the genre as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and since you have the mesa progression, right, that is also bringing you up, so you're always hitting like the right difficulty level for you, whatever your skill level is.
And we're gonna add really difficult hazard levels for the hardcore players out there, like yourselves.
I'm ready. I have a 230 hour in the Deep Rock Survivor already, so just with the content that is there.
I'm sure you're cheating, Mikkel. That's.
I don't know when Mikkel works, but he does play our game way too much.
Yeah, I also do other stuff, but
Right.
So we're working on this game. What has been one of the most the biggest challenges? What's been difficult?
Well, maybe you can talk a little about in recent weeks before the demo. We had some big challenges.
Yeah, so we decided to revamp the entire UI going up towards the demo, which was needed, but it was a lot. It was a big undertaking just before we wanted to go live with the demo.
Yeah.
But we are really happy where it landed.
Yeah. We're a really small team over here, so that included the entire team working on the UI for a week out of the 2 weeks we had left, where we also had other stuff planned. So that was kind of hectic, but I think it paid off.
I think it totally did, and I think it is. It's super cool.
And like in general over the production, I don't think we have had major challenges. I think the collaboration with you guys has been super smooth, and the genre and the Deep Rock Galactic universe are just the perfect match. So every time we've been like talking about the game, we all know instinctively what to build next. So it's just been a smooth production as far as productions go.
Yeah.
There are always hiccups, but they've been small.
I think one of the interesting things that we have been doing in the production that we have been sort of like going back and forth on is the control scheme, right? Where we have experimented with including dash buttons and button for other features, and at the end of the day, we went with a control scheme that are basically just moving your dwarf around and then have everything happen in context.
Yeah.
And I think that is I really like that approach, and I think that maybe we should talk about what is really unique about this game, because that's obviously the whole digging mechanic and the way you move around on the map.
Yeah, as we also talked about in our last visit in your live stream, the game started with a prototype we built in a few days where we included digging, and that quickly turned out to be like the core mechanic we wanted to innovate in this genre with, and it completely changes your whole perception of the core gameplay, because you can build like your own small caverns or death pits or choke points for enemies. So it really does, make the core gameplay way more active compared to the other games in the genre, which is super fun, in my opinion. But on the other hand, then you Mikkel, you can't play it while you watch football on TV, because you have to actually focus on this game.
Yeah, I know. but I really think this thing about the movement. I think when I've seen streams of players who have played Vampire Survivor or other games in the genre, and they come to this game, they clearly need to learn that the movement is very different. You need in Survivor, in Deep Rock Survivor, you really need to explore the map and search for those precious minerals, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you cannot just stand still and hold the fort, right?
No, you need to be a greedy little dwarf and get your hands on as much gold as you can and other minerals.
Yeah,
And that's often why you die, right?
it is because you
Very
get greedy,
appropriate.
but it's very dwarf-like.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you get to roleplay a dwarf like truly here.
Yeah.
So yeah, true. I think it is really a very different feel to play this game compared to a lot of the other games where it is more about the upgrades and the synergies alone. Where in this game there's also a lot of gameplay in the actual movement and core gameplay.
And then I think I just want to do a shout out because it is very different. And if you out there who are watching the stream here, you want to experience it yourself, you should go and test the demo out. It is on Steam right now, and you can just download it and play it and wishlist it if you like what you are testing, or follow it.
Yeah. That would be amazing. Please do. We also want all the feedback, so come into our Discord server. It's already full of people giving us 100 feature suggestions, so we have enough stuff to do.
You got enough to do, yeah. That's cool.
Okay, I think we should address the elephant in the room here, because on the Steam Store page it right now says December 2023.
Yeah.
And we just discussed this, right? And with all the feedback from the demo, even though it's mostly positive feedback, there's still like a lot to do. So we did decide, along with you, to push this title a tiny bit, just to the other side of the next year. So in the beginning of 2024, right? That's when we will.
It's a small change, but it will allow our small team to build like a higher quality game with all the content we want, and also, more importantly, we can include all the feedback we get from the demo.
Yeah.
Which we really want to spend our time right now is listening to the community and like interacting with that, and which the new timeline will allow us to do. So we feel like we get a way better game waiting just a little bit.
So when it has released into early access, there will be, of course, updates. Do you have something planned on the other side that you can reveal, or
Nope.
maybe give hint at what your ambitions are? Because those will also change, I know, from experience when you release. Then you find out you need to do something else. But
not to tell about our plans. No, I think we have not made the schedule yet, our roadmap yet, but we do know that obviously we want to work on stuff like Bosco. We want to include as much stuff as we can from the Deep Rock Galactic universe. That might include stuff like Molly and other systems from Deep Rock Galactic. Also, obviously, more biomes, more enemies, more weapons, more class mods, more overclocks, more stuff, more difficulty modes, more mission types. One of the things we're doing here is
mission types is something that I'm looking really forward to, because that is also a place where I think we are gonna set Deep Rock Galactic Survivor apart from other games in this genre, right?
I agree. Right now there's just one mission, which is the Dreadnought mission, which is like kill the boss kind of mission. But you could easily exchange that with Egg Hunt, other kinds of known Deep Rock Galactic missions where you should do other kinds of stuff, and we definitely want to do that as well. So you have like a 5-year head start in terms of updates we need to catch up on. So there's a lot of stuff in your universe already that we can like translate to this game, which we're really looking forward to.
Cool. So that was actually also one of the new things from the playtest to this one, was the new top bar on mission progression, right? And that's of course obviously useful for designing new types of missions that we can add in on this.
Exactly.
Cool.
I think time is running. It was super nice chatting with you and hearing about Deep Rock Galactic Survivor.
Yeah.
And any final comments?
Go play the demo. It's super fun. See if you can beat Mikkel's 240 hours.
I said 30, but by the time by the people time downloaded, I probably played 240.
That's it. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Thanks for visiting.
Rock
and Stone.
Rock and Stone.
Alrighty. So that was a fun day, Anders.
Fun day games.
And Rasmus.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope you liked what you saw, and I hope you are interested in seeing what that game is all about. Now we are moving over to SpellRogue.
Yes. It's
And
different type of game, but still in the roguelike genre, you could say.
it is.
Yes.
It is very different though.
Deck building with dice.
Yeah, dice. Short deck building
pitch.
with dice, not dice building, but deck building with dice.
Yes, yes. But maybe we should just watch the trailer.
The trailer, yeah.
So everybody on the stream can get some visuals on what this game is about, and then we'll meet the team.
Yeah, roll it. So that was the trailer for SpellRogue.
And here we have Guidelight Games, Tim and Torbjørn. Welcome.
That's the entire team.
That's the entire team. Yes. Good to see you again. Yeah, you're doing everything on this game. So that's impressive. Maybe just now we did a very short pitch, but maybe you can elaborate a little bit. What's SpellRogue about?
Yeah, sure. SpellRogue is all about these dice slingers. It's an ancient order of wizards dedicated to protecting the world from the void. You do this by rolling magical dice and spending them to cast spells. You must also gather magical artifacts of great power and also maybe even dabble in some forbidden magic. You do all these things to defeat the Voidwalkers and save the world.
So, SpellRogue, right? I mean, I'm not exaggerating if I say that Torbjørn, you as the main designer, is a huge fan of Slay the Spire, right? And
yes,
that has been one of your big motivation in working on this.
Yeah. I have over 1,000 hours in Slay the Spire, so I can definitely say like I'm kind of a fan. Pretty much. Yeah, I love that game so much. So yeah, of course the games take a lot of inspiration from Slay the Spire. We also take inspiration from games like Dice Dungeons, of course. We played that game.
Yeah.
Monster Terrain, Rogue Book. There's so many great roguelikes out there that we just take inspiration from, and we just try to make the best roguelike that we can.
And I think, I mean, obviously, Søren and I have also a lot of hours in Slay the Spire and
SpellRogue now.
And SpellRogue now, yes, definitely. But I can say that when we partnered up with you guys, is it a year ago or something like that? Yeah. And I remember that we saw the demo and we was like, we were not really. What is this? And then we got keys and we brought them home. And Søren and I was playing the game during the weekend. And then when we came back the following Monday, we had each sunk 20 hours into SpellRogue. Yeah. And then we was like, hey, what are they doing, these guys? This is super fun and super addictive. We need to work with you. And then we partnered up, right? And then that's how our collaboration.
We didn't know that you were even publishing back then, so
no. We didn't either.
Yeah. We didn't either. No. So that was before we had announced the Ghost Ship publishing.
Exactly.
So. You were one of the games that pushed us. Like we need to help you.
Yeah, that's great.
This made sense to take the move alongside you. So now today you are out with a demo, right?
Yes,
live on Steam right now and ready for next fest. How's that going?
It's going great. We released last Friday, and it's super great to have a ton of people coming in and giving us feedback, because that's the core way we develop the game. We really rely on feedback and develop together with the community. So it's great. It's been great.
Have you learned anything new from this demo? Anything new things that have appeared after putting this out, or does it look like it's getting readier for launch now, or where are you?
Yeah. So we are the whole demo has just been polishing everything, making the experience as nice as possible. There's a lot of enemy encounters that we have just
work really hard, making more interesting, giving you some more interesting decisions to the players, balancing a lot of spells. But yeah, moving ahead, like we are planning to release very soon. So there's just a few more things we wanna get done. There's some reworks to the map that we really hope to do soon. Exactly how you get rewards and the whole progression.
I think
it's getting close.
Yeah.
It's getting close, yeah, and I think it must be super exciting for you guys, right? Because you have actually been working on this game for how many years?
It's been 3 years now, so we are also super excited to get it out there and see what everybody thinks when it's like for real. But of course, the demo is a really good taste of what the game is right now and what it's going to be at launch as well. In the demo, there's one character with 3 different loadouts, and you can play through the first 2 acts. And then in the full game, there'll be 3 acts. But yeah,
And 3 wizards. 3 wizards. And 3 wizards.
Oh yeah, and 3 wizards.
Yeah.
So that's loads of content. But
so that leads me to another question, which is, you got a fire wizard, a water wizard, and an earth wizard, right?
Exactly.
And I see 3 elements here, and there's a 4th element that I sort of.
There might be a 4th on the way. Yeah, we are slowly developing this.
And so that is my question is what are you planning for working on after the early access launch?
Yeah, so that is of course one of the main things. We really want to introduce their elements, their wizard. But besides that, we have a really long list of things that we still want to do for the game.
Yeah, there's a ton of requests from the community as well that we just list them, and then we have them ready for when we need to continue working on the game after launch. But yeah, content is the main thing that we really want to expand on, and then just continue improving all the systems.
And I think that is one of the beautiful things about going into early access and doing open development, communicating with your community, right? Which is that you can actually adapt, you can actually respond to the feedback you get, right? And improve your game.
Yeah, exactly. And we're not really new to this. Throughout the development, we have always released builds and playtests, so people can get a taste of it and get feedback. And I think we are past 50 updates or so now. So
over the past 2 years, we've been putting out updates on the Discord. It's a huge part of making the game.
Yes.
It's just the community. Just bringing the community.
And I mean, I play SpellRogue regularly, right? And I think it has been super cool to play SpellRogue during the last year, and just seeing the development, getting all the new features that you constantly are adding, or you're changing rules, and all that is keeping the experience fresh for me when I'm playing it. And hopefully that is gonna continue after we launch the game into early access, right? That people will constantly like.
I do though remember that a few times we changed some rules where we were like, will this work now? And because you kind of changed around on the whole thing about artifacts and the shards or the gems that you put in, right? And
we're not afraid to change.
No.
That is
we had a few times where
design.
Yeah. I think that's really cool, and that's needed, of course. But just put a bit of uncertainty on what is this game actually? But of course, it's still the same. It's more about balance.
But that's also a game development, right? Sometimes you need to take some chances. You need to push the envelope. You need to do stuff where you are not necessarily comfortable with it. If you always do the same thing, it also can get a bit boring, right? And then if you fail, right, you learn from your mistake, and you know this was wrong, and then you also learn something.
I know getting ready for the demo that you had to do quite a lot of work to prepare it for localization, right? Can you tell a bit about that?
Sure, of course. So we have a really complicated system for making items in the game. So for making spells and artifacts and relics and potions, we have a ton of things in the game, and it uses it has a really complicated system for actually generating the descriptions of the different spells and artifacts. So actually adding localization on top of this system is a bit complicated. So it's something that we it's kind of boring technical stuff, but it's a big thing. But it's gonna take us some time to actually complete this whole system.
Yeah, we were still looking at it, and maybe we were like we've been talking to you guys about like how do you do localization as well. So we might take some inspiration from you. Yeah.
And it is quite important for this game so we can reach all of you out there. And all,
we have to get out
friends.
to the whole world.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
That's the plan.
So regarding release of SpellRogue, so right now I think on the page it just says coming soon on the Steam page, but we are going to narrow down that and are aiming for January next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you comfortable with that, with the plan?
The capsules can be.
There's still a lot of work to do, of course, but we can manage it.
Like we could release it even sooner if we really had to. It's not that big of a deal either, because it is something after we release it, we are gonna continue developing it. So it's basically we want to get it to a state where we're really happy about all the parts of the game. Then we can
And I think also,
continue.
From a publishing perspective, I think it also takes some time to actually get everything positioned right and do a marketing push on it and so on. So I think it is smart that we have some time, even though you're ready. Then time will go by quickly.
That's it.
Yeah. So this fact that you're only 2 developers, how do you deal with that? You have to do a lot of different things, both of you, right?
We do. It's a challenge. Obviously, just being 2, there's a lot of different roles we have to take on each. But I think we manage pretty well. And of course, we also have, every now and then, we get some feedback from you guys or a bit of help with the various small things. We also, just recently, we had an audio designer as well, which helped us with the audio. So any help from specialists every now and then is super useful. But it's a fairly big game for 2 people. So, but
most of the time, it's just been the 2 of us.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's been a lot. But
what is your different focus areas? Can you just put some words on that?
Sure. So I do programming and do game design. Tim also could do game design, but just art. Sure.
Yeah, focus on the art side of things.
So we have a really clear-cut line between us, between like art and programming, all the technical stuff, all the art stuff, and then we are discussing all the game design. It's something that we work together.
Yeah, and it just works really well. It's like sort of a classic setup for a 2-man company, I think. So
and one of the smart thing is you don't have an office, right? Because you're just working from home because you're only 2. So your biggest challenge is gonna happen when you are growing. If you are gonna grow, then and you need a space, that is gonna be a big change if that happens.
Yeah, definitely. We could use maybe an employee or 2. Would be nice. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Alrighty. But I think we have some more time. How much time do we have, Alex? 3 minutes. Do we have any, maybe some questions from our stream? I don't know are people active, Jacob, on the stream? But we'll see.
So any thoughts from you guys on what will happen when the game launches?
Well, it will be a huge success, of course.
There will definitely, I can guarantee there will be champagne.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's a must. I'm not sure. Like, we'll just continue developing the game, of course. So not too much will happen, regardless of like exactly how it looks, but we'll see.
I'm just looking super forward to it, and I think if we have our viewers, people who are following the stream, I mean, again, the demo for SpellRogue is live right now on Steam, so you can go and download it, you can play it, you can wishlist it if you like it, and you have my word that is super fun.
It is.
I also played through the demo multiple times, and I also think that is giving you a very, very good taste of what SpellRogue is. And SpellRogue has a very, very unique way of using the dice that I really, really like. And I think one of the things that I think is kind of magical with SpellRogue is that you are sticking to the standard dice, right, with numbers on.
Yeah, exactly. And we did sort of talk about in the early days of if we should use other dice, but But the D6 or like the standard dice is just everybody understands it. Like you
Exactly.
you know exactly what it feels like, how it should like roll and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, and it's cool because then you're manipulating the numbers, right? And you're having mechanics, and you can experience that in the demo. Mechanics like, for example, you can flip a dice, right? And then you take advantage of knowing that that they add up. When two sides add up, it gives 7, right? And then you can flip dice, and then you can manipulate the dice rolls. And that is there's a lot of like the core mechanic in SpellRogue comes from that manipulating dice.
Yeah.
And there's so many things you can do with dice. Like as you said, you can flip and you can merge or split them. You can enchant them with different magical effects, all kinds of things.
You can curse them and you can bless them and you can
just like in real life.
them and grow them.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
But can you slap them like in Deep Rock Galactic?
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Really
Slap them for good luck before you roll them.
Might be
All
a
right.
future thing to that.
All right, guys. I think our time is running up. So it was super nice to have you join our stream, and we're just looking very much forward to seeing what is going on with SpellRogue
Yes.
in the future.
Yeah. And please, everyone, try the demo. That's great.
Yes.
That's right.
All right, guys.
Right.
Have a nice
Bye,
day.
guys.
Thank you.
You too.
So that was Guidelight Games and SpellRogue, and now we're moving on to Bitfire Games.
Yeah.
And their game DarkSwarm.
Yeah, and I think Bitfire they started also really from scratch button, but maybe we should just see the. Are we ready with the trailer for DarkSwarm? All right,
Yes.
then get ready to see something completely new from not completely new, but a huge step in the development of DarkSwarm. Oh, that was the DarkSwarm trailer. Super cool. And now we have Hans and Jonas from Bitfire with us here on the stream. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello, welcome. How are you?
We're pretty good.
Pretty good, yes.
Chilling at Hans's place, away from the office to not disturb our busy team.
Good choice. All right. So for all the viewers out there that haven't really seen anything about DarkSwarm yet, can you give a pitch? What's the game about?
Yes, what the game is about. DarkSwarm is a class-based, top-down co-op shooter with the horror elements for up to 4 players. Solo should be fun as well. You play a team of mercenaries in a galaxy infested with this parasitic alien life form called the DarkSwarm. Nobody knows where they came from, but it's infesting and corrupting everything it touches in the most horrible ways. In this world, that's run by the Giga corporations. Your team of mercenaries will be taking on contract jobs for the elite or anybody who is willing to pay for your security services and specialist skills. And sometimes sneaking in, hacking stuff in infested strongholds and taking out the hives. Sometimes going down to planets, build defenses around mining colonies and just mow down the waves of enemies. And at the end of the day, it's all about working together, surviving, and escaping with the fat loot. And so you can get your damn well-earned paycheck. And then it's going home and, upgrading your weapons and gear and enjoy some chill time with your friends and randos.
It sounds a bit familiar. No, so I think we met up also a year ago or something like that, right? And when we met up, Jonas, you came to us with a demo or a showcase
Prototype.
of a prototype of DarkSwarm that you've been working on in your bedroom, and you partnered up with Hans. But you have been busy with your company, Bedfire.
Oh,
How many are you now?
Yeah, right now we are actually 11 people, and it's just a few months ago it was only Jonas and me. So we had a very Actually, we changed to a bigger office, and now we need to a bigger office again. So
That's how it goes.
Yes. Sounds familiar as well.
But I think, we can also see it in the footage that we're seeing here in the background, right? You have made a lot of progress since the first material we showed from DarkSwarm.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we also been working hard on both the graphics and the code.
Especially, basically rebuilding throwing my prototype out, like rebuilding in the process and getting all the new tech up and running, so everything's performant. I'm not really a programmer, so it's been getting people up to speed, like with actual programming skills and rebuilding all the systems to sort of to do the whole co-op online thing that we're working towards.
So what's been the most challenging parts?
It is very much, growing from like just me in the bedroom, making all the decisions and just feeling my way forward. And then you suddenly have a pretty big team of very different people, and feeling like you're on this steam train going forward, laying all the tracks and steering away from potential minefields and all that stuff. And
We're going from a local co-op game, right,
Oh, yeah.
to an online co-op game. So there's a lot of things we have to change while we are building the game. So it's not a big challenge, but it has a lot of small issues, I would say.
Yeah. So you started out by building or testing local co-op first, right?
Exactly.
To feel the gameplay and
really feel the game.
Yeah.
It's been very helpful.
Yes.
And I think I remember when we were working on Deep Rock Galactic. Obviously getting all the network to work, it is just way more complicated than building a single player game or you could say totally local game. So obviously it's a huge challenge. I'm looking forward to. Normally in Ghost Ship Publishing, right? Every week we have a check-in with you guys and with the other developers, and then we actually sit and talk and have to play the game in the background. You're not quite there yet, right? But I'm really looking forward to us starting to have weekly or bi-weekly sessions where we can play DarkSwarm together.
Yeah, sure. We will be there soon. So.
Very soon.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, that's super cool. So, what are your big next goals? What are your milestones looking like? What are you working towards?
It's the closed alpha, which will be sort of happening.
Yeah, sort of.
Kind of soon.
We're actually aiming for this online thing to work perfectly in December, and then we might have a closed alpha coming up. Who knows?
Then what should people who view the stream now, what should they do to get in on the closed alpha or have a chance to get in on the closed alpha?
I think we'll open up for invites in December on Steam.
And you can always sign up for the newsletter on the DarkSwarm.com or join the Discord.
Oh yeah, sure.
Follow the posts we do on Steam, all that stuff.
Yeah, and I think if people follow you, they should obviously wishlist DarkSwarm, but if they both wishlist and follow it, right, then whenever you're posting something, they will also be notified about what's going on. So,
sure. Yeah.
So that's a way to stay in up to date on DarkSwarm.
Yeah, wishlist. Yes.
Now, before with SpellRogue, we were a little late on taking questions from the chat. So just if there are any questions out there, please post them, and Jacob can relay them. All right. The one thing I noted in the new footage is this: you have these colored, very different colors on the lasers. What's the purpose there? Is it just to distinguish the different player characters, or are there other things on it?
Oh, it's very much a design choice about having these player colors. So when we're doing the local co-op, it's much easier to sort of distinguish yourself from the other players.
I think it totally works. I mean, when we look at the game, right, it can be quite chaotic because you have a lot of things going on and so on. But I really think it helps. And then I think one of the other things that we maybe just saw a little bit of before is that you are also doing surface levels, right? So it's not all inside the buildings and stuff like that. And I think that looks super cool.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a new thing for more the defense type missions where you go down to the planet surfaces. And I know there's a lot of stuff I would like in the game, but like luring out the boss after clearing out the hives and all that stuff, it's something we're working towards eventually.
Yeah, you're still building on the foundation of the game, right? And
Absolutely.
then you will expand later.
Yeah.
So those surface level that we see from this desert biome type, it gives me a bit of a Starship Trooper kind of vibe. Is that a inspiration?
Absolutely,
And
aliens,
like aliens as well, of course.
Yeah. Wayland Yutani. I also have.
Well, yeah, cool. I actually think one of the things that is really cool about your character designs is that you're going more into like a, I don't know, body horror type of monsters. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, it's been like from the very beginning. It's the whole body horror. So we are not leaning towards so much the classical Ridley Scott, H.R. Giger kind of look and things, but more in the John Carpenter, The Thing like body horror. And it's the DarkSwarm will sort of insert their little eggs into their victims, and then the creatures will evolve inside them, and so sort of burst through the poor souls, and then they give birth to new creatures. They can evolve and stuff like that. There's a lot of lore being written on right now around the whole biology of the DarkSwarm.
You don't want to get infected. Sounds like.
Okay, guys, I have a question. I have a question from the chat.
Oh yeah.
So, are you ready?
Yeah.
Will there be a salute feature like Rock and Stone or something similar?
It's not really in the plans right now, but sure.
Yeah, sure.
That would make sense to have, you know.
Yeah, we have talked about it, but yeah, sure, it will come.
I think that is almost like a question that we could ask for all the games, right?
Yeah.
But,
yes.
I think it really depends on what suits the games, right?
Yeah. Dark and Swarm.
Here's another comment from the chat. So this game reminds me of Helldivers. Is that a coincidence?
No, that is as one of the among many like Alien Swarm, Reactive Drop, Helldivers. It's one of these core foundational gameplay inspirations. We are also right now we are just doing very, very early building on the whole the support drops will function a little bit different from Helldivers, but it's I had so much fun with playing Helldivers locally with my son on the couch for a long time. So there's a lot of inspiration and good times I want to spread to the world.
It's funny because Helldivers was also a game we actually were looking at when we were designing Deep Rock Galactic. Obviously, it's a very different genre where your genre is more the same as Helldiver, but we had also a huge love for that game, and I think that was also part of what we fell in love with when we saw you presenting DarkSwarm to us.
For sure. Yeah. Maybe we have time for one last question from the chat, if there's any more. Or...
Yeah, one last question. Is there going to be different classes that we can pick from?
Oh yes. There'll be 4 starting base classes: the Assault, Engineer, Support, and Infiltrator. And we want them to be balanced, but also feel like very unique. And we also hope to add more classes in the future.
We said the same.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen. It's too much. Yeah,
but we ended up, especially on the traversal part in Deep Rock, turned it very, very difficult to do that. I think it could be potentially easier in your game to actually add quite a few different classes. Yeah. I can see that.
Definitely. We decided too tight for Deep Rock.
Yeah.
All right, guys. But I think we are about to wrap this thing up. You don't have a demo out like the previous two.
Maybe a closed
games we
alpha
showed.
soon. Yeah.
Maybe closed alpha. So but DarkSwarm. How do you get your hands on a t-shirt?
Oh, you have to. Working for us is a good thing. I know.
It's a very limited audience you have there.
Very limited.
All right, guys. But thank you for joining the stream and telling us a little bit more about DarkSwarm. It was a pleasure having you here.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So that was DarkSwarm and Hans and Jonas from Bitfire.
Now we are on to the fourth game that Ghost Ship will publish.
And that's a completely new game, right?
It is a new game, and it's somebody we met not too long ago. We knew them a bit before. They are also a game development team from Denmark, I can say. But maybe we should just...
Yeah, maybe we should just see the trailer and then we'll meet the guys afterwards. All right, that was the trailer for Dino Lords.
Yes.
And we have Michael and Frederick with us here on the stream.
From North Play, welcome, Michael and Frederick.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So, what the hell were we just seeing here?
We've been looking forward to today for so long. It's so good to finally be able to share the trailer for Dino Lords with everyone. Dino Lords, an action RTS, real-time strategy game with action RPG elements. That's how we're pitching it.
Yes. And the dinosaurs and medieval is Vikings kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Just how history wrote it. Yeah.
It's just like in the history books. Where, yes, Eric the Red goes to Greenland and discovers dinosaurs, brings them back to Scandinavia to domesticate them. Of course, Sven Forkbeard uses them in the first dinosaur-powered conflict in his invasion of England. Just like in the history books. Yeah.
I must have been sleeping a little bit in history back then, but it is much cooler than what I was watching.
And you play as Danes, actually, right?
You play as the English the English lord.
Danes will kick your butt.
Danes will come and kick your butt
with
their domesticated ancient beasts.
That's good. That was also how I remembered history.
Yeah.
Very cool. So yeah, that's amazing. But I mean, we just you are our most recent publisher game, you can say, and that's actually pretty early big news, right? For us, we met up. Is it how many months is it? 3 months, 4 months?
I said 5 months ago.
5 months. 5 months. Yeah. That was the first time we saw Dino Lords.
at a Copenhagen matchup, which is this event in Copenhagen where publishers, investors, and developers meet each other. And Michael, I remember you showed us the pitch. We were the first, and right after the pitch, me and Mikkel, we just looked at each other like, this is cool. We need this. How do we stop Michael from talking to anybody else today?
Yeah, it's kind of wild. You visited us very early on, like very quickly after that meeting. You came to the offices here, and we're like, we got to see what is this thing.
Yes. I know we were eager to learn more, to see what was behind this pitch, because it could also just been smoke and mirrors. But then we could see, okay, there's actually a real game being built here. And I thought so immediately before I seeing dinosaurs, I was thinking Stronghold, which is one of my old favorites. I guess that's part of the inspiration here as well, alongside other RTS games.
Absolutely. I think most of the team grew up playing RTS as kids and teenagers. Stronghold is a very strong, inspiration. Of course, Age of Empires as well. We really feel like it's been a while since we've had a really good RTS. So that's part of the inspiration, as we wanted to have this nostalgic love letter to this genre that we grew up with, but we also wanted to modernize it.
So I'm just wondering, all this, I mean, dinosaurs. We need to talk more about dinosaurs.
Of course.
Yeah.
What you need to tell more about how are dinosaurs gonna affect the gameplay, the experience of playing Dino Lords?
Absolutely. Do you wanna?
Yeah. So in this very, very true to our timeline history, dinosaurs is like an integral part of living. It's part of the community. They're used for combat machines and war machines, but also just used for tending to the land, and as how we use cows and horses in our rural history. So they are part of the community and part of the world, just like we have animals in our world.
Yeah, I remember when we first began making a prototype for an RTS game, and we had already brought like one big twist to the concept. The twist, of course, which we can also talk about, is the fact that you control a character, a player-controlled protagonist in the world. You are the Lord. You directly maneuver that guy around the world, and the camera's fixed to that position. We felt like that was a pretty big innovation. It's an interesting mix between two genres, real-time strategy and action RPG or hack and slash games. But I was constantly trying to get the team to understand that we needed one more twist on the formula, which was of course dinosaurs. And I think they all rolled their eyes a little bit in the beginning. But what we found out was actually that it makes a lot of sense mechanically in this type of game, where you are you're manning the ramparts, you're defending against sieges, and you have these large swarms of enemy troops attacking your walls. And in that situation, you really want like these big, high-value targets you can sink a lot of arrows into. And instead of going the fantasy route, we knew we didn't want to do dragons and wizards and things like that. We wanted to go with the gritty, alternative history of domesticated dinosaur violence. Yeah. And you will, as a player, also control these dinosaurs, right? You're not just fighting against them. No. The idea is that we, of course, as you play as the British, and it'll be a massive shock, of course, to have this new age of medieval warfare thrust upon them, maybe akin to seeing the first tanks in World War I would reckon. But as you progress through the story and the campaign of the game, you will of course unlock the ability to capture dinosaurs yourself. Of course, we want you riding dinosaurs. So before Mikkel jumped in and asked about dinosaurs, which was the right thing to get out, I was about to ask about this thing that you're mixing the two genres, the RTS and the action RPG, because you're actually controlling the character a bit like you control in Diablo, right? Which is unusual for an RTS. So can you talk about some of the design complications or implications around this? I can start and then you can
Yeah.
follow up. Yeah, of course, this was the big pivotal moment in all of our prototypes. Is that can we really merge these two different genres? They have different control schemes, tropes, different expectations from players. And of course, there are some places where they interface really well, and there's some places where they create some friction. In RTS games, you traditionally play as sort of this omnipotent god or a general or whatnot, as a city planner. So you move around the map quickly, able to order units around, but you don't really participate. You're not in there yourself. Whereas in action RPGs, you mostly play as a character. You're in the fray of things. You're maybe controlling one person or a squad of people, but certainly not a whole city or an army. So that has been an interesting design challenge, like figuring out whether two genres can really help each other. Of course, you give up a little bit of that strategic grand strategy overview, but what you also get is more immediacy. You're there fighting on the ramparts next to your men units that you yourself have trained. You're able to use abilities, as we see in some of these videos. You'll see the Lord using his jump or arrow abilities, and we want to expand on that idea, the whole action RPG tropes of using that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's been a really interesting design process so far, figuring out whether two genres make something entirely new and where it needs a little help.
Yeah, and also like just having this element of at least partly immersion, where you might not notice if something happens at the other end of your city, just like a lord might not notice what's happening at the other end of a city, and we sort of discovered that adds something interesting, where you might only realize something when it's almost too late, and that feeling of pressure to remedy or salvage the situation is super fun.
It makes like logistical stuff much more important. Like you want to build an effective castle where you can get from A to B really fast. I think there's a lot of fertile ground for like discovering that whole mechanic. Also, somehow just in Age of Empires, I didn't really care what my town looked like. I know we all did it, right? Build all the houses in a neat square. No one cared what it looked like. But here, actually, because you're walking around your own city, you really wanna lay down cobblestone, and we have this modular castle system that I really love, where you're just dragging out these nodes, and then you are attaching all these modules so that you can customize your own fortress. And I think that works really well. Wouldn't have worked as well if you were not a person in the world that had to run up the stairs.
You have to experience them, right? Because you have to run on them.
So can you decorate your city or your fortress with like a dino fashion or whatever it's called?
Of course, absolutely. I think one of the cool things that we're discovering with the two genres is they actually have a lot to offer each other. So the plan is to, of course, between missions have a lot of stuff that you can unlock, right? So you earn, right now it's called experience points. We'll see what it'll be called in the final game. But you'll be earning like this sort of currency that you can spend on unlocking things, and in a classic RTS that would be new tiers of buildings or better walls or 10% faster villagers or whatever. But we also have access to all the wonderful concepts from action RPG, where you have itemization, abilities, of course, different kinds of dino fashion, as you would put it, Mikkel. Ways to customize and make your castle look unique. That's definitely something that we're working towards. Yes.
So with the whole approach of action RPG, where you control a character, you also get the aspect of potential having more like exploration.
Yes, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so we want the land or the maps to be like an important part of what you need to explore and what you need to take advantage of, basically. You can't just plop down food building and it will just magically generate food out of nothing. You will have to hunt yourself to begin with until you grow your city enough so that you can hopefully have some people hunt for you, and you don't have to lift a finger that much because you are the Lord after all.
Yes.
But you need to explore the land and see what dangers lie out there, and you might stumble upon a bandit camp, and you can destroy that and bring the loot back home. Or
indigenous dinosaurs native to Wessex, for example. Or
maybe you could tame them.
Yes, maybe you could. Yeah. exploration is definitely going to be a huge thing.
Also, what about? Oh yeah, go ahead.
That was just like, do you remember the missions in Command and Conquer where you only had like Tanya or whatever?
Yeah.
Those things suddenly makes a lot more sense in a game like this, right? So we're definitely also exploring that part. Yeah.
Cool. Before Søren asks his next question, I just want to say to our viewers that if you have some questions, start writing them down in the chat now, and then maybe we'll have time to take some of them later. But did you have a question, Søren?
Yeah, an important one.
Maybe we can ask them if we need a rock and stone ourselves. Like right now we're on steel and scales. I'm not sure. Maybe the community can help us out here. We need something. Nothing will be as punchy as rock and stone. We realize that. But yeah.
What about T and Rex?
We have construct command claw right now.
I meant T, like they're British, right? So T.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
You'll let yourself out. No, so the important question that I wanted to ask was, what about co-op? Because we like co-op.
Yes, we also love co-op, and we want to bring co-op to this game. It's not in our demo build right now. I hear all the developers in the room right now sighing. But no, we think this is a game that would do really well in co-op. You being with your friends up on the walls, fighting against these massive beasts. I think that would be really special. Yeah. So yes, co-op.
That's good. That's good to hear. But it's a bit down the line. What's the next thing? What are you working on right now? What's the next big challenge for you?
Do you wanna?
Yeah. So right now we have been super busy leading up to this moment.
Yeah.
That's taken.
We're so happy to finally be able to talk about the game. Yay!
It's absolutely amazing. Finally, the curtain is lifted and there is Dino Lords. It exists as a thing that
Steam store page is live right now. The website is live right now, and we are all excited.
Yeah. But that of course means that, well, after this work continues, we have to build the game, the rest of the game. What we have is a demo, and it has a lot of the underlying systems in a mostly functional state, but we need to make the rest of the game.
We're focusing a lot on combat right now. We want this to be fun and engaging and replayable. We're prototyping lots of different dinosaurs. You saw the T-Rex, of course, in our trailer, which is this big lumbering thing that will smash through walls. But we have so many ideas for cool mergers of feudal technology and dinosaurs. So jousting knights on raptors, for example, or imagine like that. We have a Stegosaurus right now with like a dual ballista on one side. So if it turns around, you'll have like this mechanical thing that just almost automatically shoots things and
get broadsided by a Stegosaurus.
Who doesn't want to get broadsided by a Stegosaurus? So a lot of those things we're simply game testing and game designing those things. And I think after doing a lot of this stuff, the presentations and the assets and the trailers, I think all the game developers in the room are very excited to get back to actually making more game. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, if you the viewers wanna back Dino Lords, I mean, I think you should, and the developers, you should go and wishlist the game now.
Please do. That would help us a lot.
And join their Discord and follow them on Steam, and then you can stay up to date with the development of Dino Lords.
Yeah,
we also plan on doing... you can contribute, right? With
we plan on doing devlogs. Maybe Nils is here, so he can So we're actually recording all of this stuff, and a lot of the work that we do is being recorded. So we want to do videos where we bring you guys along for the ride of building a real-time strategy game.
All right, maybe we should see if there are a few questions. We still have 2 minutes.
Yes. Okay. So. I actually had a couple of questions written down, but it turns out you answered them all throughout the presentation. I have a few. There's one here. Is the current background music from the game's soundtrack? Do you guys recall?
Well, you fell out, so we didn't hear.
Okay, so the question is about the music that people can hear. Is that from the soundtrack for the game? Is that
yes? Yeah, that's the sound that we have in the game right now. Yeah. We really want to have like this edgy vibe. Like we want to, like we are fusioning 2 genres. We also we have this thing called 90s radness that we are trying to work with. So a little guitar, a little rock and roll, a little metal when you're fighting, but also the serene music that you would know from classic RTS games. And we're trying to now kiss on those two things. So yeah.
But that's also like traditional classic music from the medieval time, as I remember, right? So
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of guitar on
They
that.
rocked out hard.
Absolutely.
They did. Alrighty. But I think we are running out of time here, guys. But it was a pleasure having you on the stream. A pleasure talking to you.
Maybe
and
just before we run out, so early access on this game is still pretty far away, right? We're
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
maybe
We're
early. Yeah, so maybe 2025, early 2025 is what you should expect, something like that. But of course, there will be closed alpha and community involvement and all that, right? So go follow them. Thanks,
guys.
Michael and Frederik, for
Thank
visiting
you, guys.
us.
Thank you for
It's a
having
pleasure.
us.
Thank you.
All right, Dino Lords. Good,
That
good,
was
good
our-
to get that. Good to get that announced. I think.
Yes, they were really excited. That was so nice to see. We're excited as well.
Yeah.
So going to be fun to develop alongside them. But now we're moving on to the last segment of the stream, where we're
About Deep Rock Galactic.
So this is going to be about Deep Rock Galactic. It's going to be about what's cooking at Ghost Ship Games.
No, we start with physical. We have to look
Oh,
at
yeah.
a lot of. So
I forgot that section.
Søren, he is just so excited about what we're gonna talk about. But first of all, we're gonna look at because we actually, besides doing games, we also have some production going on physical products.
Yes.
And I have Alex over here helping us. He'll come in with some artifacts, and then we'll take a look at it. So the first one I have is this very impressive pickaxe made of solid steel. It is really heavy.
It is very heavy, deadly, I'm sure.
And
this is made by Dave from Heroic Replica. Dave has also done lots of really cool stuff for Satisfactory, among other things. And he's a big fan of Deep Rock Galactic, so he secretly made this one for us. So thank you, Dave. It's an amazing piece of work, and we'll see. If they've made more stuff.
It
for
is
us
a
in the
murder
future.
weapon. I'm pretty sure you can, even if you're a dwarf, you can bring it on a plane. I'm pretty sure. But
I'm going to be more relaxed if you put that down, Mikkel. Thank you. And here we have the Glyphid Slammer.
That's more safe.
Yes, that's quite a bit more safe. This has been fabricated by Mist Scorched Steel, who also back in the days did the amazing Bosco figurine over there. And this one was created through a small Kickstarter campaign, and you can actually drink a beer from it, and you can put a can into it if you don't want to put the beverage into it. Super
want
cool.
it in mint condition.
Yes, super cool.
All right. So then we will we have gotten the soundtrack out on album, on a
vinyl.
record, a
Yes.
vinyl, yeah. And this is
it's upside down, Mikkel.
And it is it has we've developed this in collaboration with Channel 3 Records, and I just want to show you this. Like, this is a double vinyl, and there's like this very impressive artwork on it, and fold out here. It is the artwork is by, what is he called? Tim Murray, and yeah, it looks super cool. I have given a copy to Sofus, the composer of the soundtrack, and I can just tell you he was extremely happy about seeing it. It is being produced in two different versions. One version is like a traditional black vinyl, and then there is this version that is printed in sort of like, I don't know, the idea is that it's biome colors.
Yeah.
And yeah, just super amazing. And then when you order it, it comes with some what's called like
beer coasters.
Beer coasters, yeah.
And silicone.
And
They're super nice.
Yeah. And then you can
oh yeah,
you can fit a mug on it.
It works.
Yes. And they come in, and again there was like two versions of the album, and 4 of them goes with these versions. So super cool. The album is not the complete soundtrack. because of the limitations on doing records, we had to sort of slim it down to fit it on 2 records. So a lot of tracks is actually missing. Maybe that could be something that would happen in the future. Also, I'm gonna add some sad news regarding the album, which is that it is sold out right now. So congratulations to the ones who managed to get a copy. No, this is something Alex will handle. All right, then the next thing we have is
the board game or board games, the expansions. 2 expansions for Deep Rock Galactic, the board game. So last year we had the Kickstarter for the base game, and it went really well. And the base game finally got out to everybody. There was a bit of some Brexit issues, distribution issues, always issues, but we got it out. Mood Publishing, who is doing the actual board game, did a huge job on this. And then alongside Ole Steiners, the game designer, they have developed these 2 expansions, and we have been playtesting them quite a bit. The Space Rig expansion especially was difficult because it included assignment missions, so you had to play 4 missions in a row. Initially, actually, we started with 7 missions, but it turned out to be
too long
and too much.
But the thing is, we call it assignment, right? Because we're obviously taking stuff from the computer game and converting it. But it is really, I don't know, you're leveling up your character as you go through these or progress through these 4 missions. And that was something that is quite new for an assignment, you could say, and something that we had to experiment a lot with in order to sort of like get the right balance in there and get the right flow of how you upgraded stuff. I think it turned out extremely well. Yeah, by the way, we have it on Kickstarter right now, and we have a trailer for the board game, so maybe we should just watch that.
Miners, it's time to suit up.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
The Deep Rock Galactic board game is getting 2 new expansions, full of exciting new biomes for you to mine and brand new missions to undertake. So get in your gear and venture into the unknown.
Did I hear a rockin' stone?
Assist and defend the drill dozer when going for the priceless Omeran Heartstone.
We gotta protect the Retta!
Set up pipelines and keep those refineries pumping to get the sweet liquid morkite flowing.
Pump jacks here.
Mine the smaller caves for unique loot.
Love it.
Just stay clear of the erupting volcanoes in the magma caves.
Hot.
Put on your dancing shoes and enjoy the neon plants in the Azure Weald. Remember your coat. When venturing into the glacial strata, just don't slip. And don't inhale those toxic fungus spores. If you expect a cozy vacation, you better think twice.
This is a big one.
The terrifying dreadnought is lurking down there, so bring your A-game. The caves are crawling with disgusting new beasts, like the Nadocyte breeder, the Nadocyte hatchlings, and the Corona shellback. Not to mention the recently discovered glyphids, the Stingtail, and the Rammer. Back home on the Space Rig, you can plan your next step on your road to getting rich.
Very nice.
Take on larger Deep Rock Galactic assignments.
The hunt for gold continues.
And gear up, as you can expect fierce resistance on every step.
Duty calls.
Complete unique mission challenges.
For teamwork.
Unlock permanent upgrades through the game.
Time to go dig some holes.
And round off your day at the Abyss Bar for a drink.
Last one to rock and stone pace for the first round.
So, Dwarves, are you ready for some action? It's time to expand, miners. Get yours today. Live at Kickstarter.
Yeah, so that was the trailer, and as you could see in the trailer, it's on Kickstarter right now. You can go in and back it on Kickstarter, and you can also
get the base game, which is very important, of course, because not all of you were there when the first Kickstarter launched. So you can also just buy the base game or the base game alongside the expansions or everything, including this little fella here, which is part of the collector's choice, the scout from the Memorial Hall.
So maybe just to recap. So the Space Rig edition of the game comes with as the assignment flow where you can play through a sequence of missions. It has 2 missions in it: the refinery mission and escort duty.
Mission.
We did versions of that, and you can see some of the models here. We have this is very small, right? But so you need to go and rewatch the trailer. But we have like Doretta here and Omar and Hearthstone.
We'll do a small play here.
And for the refinery mission, I just have a small little pop jack here. But there will be pop jacks on the map as well. Then we have the biome expansion, and the biome expansion has obviously biomes. And I think there are like I don't know. There are also
biome-specific monsters.
Yeah, and there will be a lot of monsters that we didn't include in the base game, like the Nidoside breeder, for example, and the small hatchlings. I think we have here the small hatchlings. And then I think we have the Dreadnought, and the Dreadnought is also has a mission in here. Right, so you get the elimination mission over here, and the two other that we.
And it'll have its own set of cards, so the game kind of transform into a big boss fight against the Dreadnought. And for the
that is super cool actually.
As an extra on the collectors, you get the bolt detonator.
Yeah. Then I think we have so Mood.
Oh, yeah. They invented a few.
They were naughty. They invented their own glyphids, and they made the glyphid rammer that that we don't have in the computer game. And I'm not sure we will due to our procedural generated terrain. As I don't know, it's gonna be challenging to have something brand new.
The Stingtail is.
The Stingtail was actually something they did as well, and
then
we saw
got
that.
Inspired.
Then we said, hey, we can do that. I don't think I have a model of the Stingtail.
No, we don't have that.
No, and then last but not least, we have a bolt detonator. But that's actually a separate expansion that is not one of these two. It's smaller expansion.
Small bonus expansion.
Then if you buy the collector's edition, where you get both everything that is expansion related, you will also get this Memorial Hall Dwarf. It's not gold like it will be in the computer game, but you could paint it gold if you wanted to. But it is damn pretty. Alrighty, then the last thing in our physical presentation is something we are collaborating on with Skybound, and that is actually a physical version of Deep Rock Galactic. This is something that we are super cool. We're super happy about seeing.
We just received this today.
We just received it today, and I think like we have been working on Deep Rock Galactic for 7 years, right? And obviously it's only digital. And as a developer, I think there's just something magical about sitting with a physical object that is your work, and it could be able to sit with that in your hand.
It's and hopefully see it on a shelf in a retail store if we can find one.
But this is we developed this as a special edition, so it's not just a game. You first of all you get 2 DLCs included with the game, and that is the Dark Future pack and the Mega Core pack, DLC packs, cosmetic packs. Then let's take a look inside it.
Yes, let's unbox it.
So we don't have the disc right now. It is not printed yet, so it's only the cover we have. So the disc is not looking like that. But there are stuff in here, and I think that maybe you should just start opening these. These are 4 art prints, postcards. Then here is a letter from Mission Control. You cannot read it here, so you will need to buy it to read it. Then we have this fold-out poster. And on the backside of the poster, there is a blog post that I have written about Rock and Stone and what Rock and Stone has meant for Deep Rock Galactic and for us as developers. It's called A Song of Rock and Stone. And did you show the...
Yeah, so these are postcards, so you can send them to a loved one or a dear friend or someone else, and it's some of the key art from the game throughout the years that we have on these.
That's actually the the board game is something we have been working in creating in collaboration with Mood. They've been handling all the production and the design and everything. But actually, these art prints is something that we also work together with.
That's Mood as well.
That is a Mood. They are basically a concept art company, and they have been helping us making all these pretty prints. And the print you see in the back here is also Mood publishing, Mood visuals.
So Mikkel, this one is says PS5.
It does.
So the burning question is, what about Xbox? What about PC?
Yeah, so Xbox is a bit complicated because we have Deep Rock Galactic in Game Pass right now, and doing physical versions on games that are in Game Pass doesn't really make sense. Or so we've been told.
So we've been told it's not
and
our business, so to speak.
No, so that is not happening. And PC, obviously, I would guess it's a way smaller market than the PlayStation. And I think if we were to do a PC version, it would be more collector's edition, because you would
something that came in a box, maybe with a figurine or something, right?
The game in itself
that would be for the future.
Yeah, and the game itself would not really be the main thing here, right? Because you already own the game on Steam. So it would be something you just would buy to have it standing on a shelf. And yeah, I don't know. I would.
All right, so this one is arriving at the end of November. You can already go now and pre-order it on deeprockgalacticskybound.com and order it through Amazon, for example, online. So that was it for Deep Rock Physical.
I think but there's also a lot, right? I mean, there's so much stuff we have been
so cool. It's
so much stuff is going on.
The game becoming physical like this, it's really, really cool. So now I can say that we're moving on to Deep Rock Galactic, game, the digital game, and what's been cooking at Gosick Games, because we've been working on something. And
yes, we do. And I think so. We are gonna show you a trailer, a teaser, announcement teaser, and after that we'll swap Søren with Mike. And then we'll talk about what you're just about to see. But should we do a small drum roll? Roll it, Mike. Mark. So that was our announcement teaser trailer for Rogue Core. And now we are gonna say goodbye to Søren and swap him with Mike.
Goodbye, everyone. Here comes Mike.
Here you go. Nice.
And hi, Mike.
Hi, Mikkel. Hi, chat.
Mike is lead designer on Deep Rock Galactic and also on Rogue Core.
Yes.
So
that's super exciting.
It's super exciting, yes. So what did we just see here? Well, Rogue Core is a 1 to 4 player co-op roguelike shooter. And you and your friends can or will join an elite team of dwarven reclaimers, and you're sent to Hoxes in order to re-establish control over lost mining dig sites, mining facilities. Working on this game, we've been inspired by other games like Risk of Rain 2 or Gunfire Reborn, looking at the way that they handle the whole roguelite gameplay mechanic and putting on it. And then obviously we are setting the game in the Deep Rock Galactic universe. Rogue Core takes place at the same time as Deep Rock Galactic, as the Dwarves go to work and mine in the caves. And as such, we consider Rogue Core a spin-off of Deep Rock Galactic, or you could call it an standalone expansion for Deep Rock Galactic. Our plan for Rogue Core is that we will launch it into early access by the end of 2024, and Season 5 for Deep Rock Galactic is planned to come by June 24, and Season 5 will work as sort of like a prelude that will foreshadow some of the events that will take place in Rogue Core. So that was sort of like you can say the outline of what Rogue Core is. But Mike, how did we end up here announcing a new game today?
Yeah, well, so of course we are announcing it today, even though we have been working on this, exploring it, prototyping stuff for a while now, because we are now ready to commit. This is the game we are making.
Oh, it's so
Rogue Core is
exciting!
real.
It's so exciting!
It's been a bit of a journey, kind of, because it started off as an expansion, or almost actually a game mode for Deep Rock Galactic, something we just wanted to explore, this type of play, right? The idea of a rogue-like or a roguelite flow or cycle in Deep Rock Galactic, something we talked about here at Ghost Ship Games years ago, like many, like before we even left early access. While in early access, we talked about this, but we decided not to kind of go with that. But we've also seen, like, in the community, people talking about it, like suggesting things like that, and it is something that we think totally works, and now we have proven to ourselves is totally working.
And we started out doing very simple prototypes. Basically, you were doing the prototype initially, I think, where we were just testing out how would this flow, how would this work out, and our initial idea was that this could be an expansion for Deep Rock Galactic. But then, as we were developing on this thing, our ambitions grew. That's basically game development for you. I mean, that happens when we start working. So our ambitions, they just grew. We wanted to do more and more and more in this game, and I think 2 months ago, 1.5 months ago, we started realizing that this could not just be an expansion. This actually had to be its own thing.
Yes, and also like during our test, right? Kind of when we started, it was just you were playing as the 4 classes of Deep Rock Galactic, like very much in this kind of like expansion game mode style thing. And then we talked, and you gave free rein to try to kind of throw things out the window, and it benefited a lot from that. And that's kind of where we came to this place where, okay, well, this is not a different a different way to play Deep Rock Galactic. I mean, it is running on the kind of the core gameplay of Deep Rock Galactic, the shooting, the hordes, the caves, the procedural generation, but it is
I think basically when we started and we had the idea that this could be an expansion, right? We were trying to make Rogue Core, or what is Rogue Core now, work within the Deep Rock Galactic framework, like the economy of Deep Rock Galactic, and that simply turned out to be too much of a hassle. For
and
us.
limiting. I mean,
So that's where we are today. Rogue Core, new game announced by Ghost Ship Games.
Woo!
Feels good. It feels good to say it, and I think that another thing I just want to address: why are we announcing Rogue Core right now? And the reason why, because actually I think we are excited about this, but we are also a little bit uncomfortable because that we don't have that much to show yet from the game. We have been very busy on working on a prototype, right? But it's very crude. We don't have actually that much artwork yet. But we are announcing it now because we want to do open development on Rogue Core. And that means that we want to invite you to join us in this and follow us and participate on Discord and on the Steam forum and everywhere you can. And see what we are doing, and we will promise you that on the other hand we will share the development, we'll share our milestones, our roadmap with you, so you have an idea about where we are heading. And right now I think we have the store page live for Rogue Core. Can someone give me a thumbs up if we have the store page live?
We have it.
We have it live, so you can go in there and wishlist the game now, and you can follow us. But you will also see that we don't have that much artwork to show.
There's a few
yet.
screenshots there,
things, yeah.
And we're actually going to maybe also go through some of them here.
We will go through it. Yeah, we'll show you the roadmap and we'll talk about where we are heading and so on. Again, if you missed it, we are also doing a season 5, so we are not abandoning Deep Rock Galactic. Just want to emphasize that. So yeah, but anyways, now our open development on Rogue Core starts, and that's very exciting. But let me just try to go a little bit back to the announcement teaser you just saw and talk about what is going on with Rogue Core. So Deep Rock Galactic, as we know them, the space mining corporation, they have discovered this new precious, insanely precious mineral called
very special.
Called Expanite, and they discovered this at the core of Hoxus. And they've been establishing, maybe secretly, I don't know, but they have been establishing.
Like a little bit secretly.
A little bit secretly. You as a working dwarves didn't know about it, right?
No, exactly.
So, but they've been establishing deep mining operations down there in order to extract Expanite. And then they started extracting the Expanite, and then suddenly they lost all contact with all the mining facilities.
Yeah, all the deep digs. All of them went dark.
Went dark in an event we call the Grey Out right now. And Deep Rock Galactic has not been able to enter these sites and regain control over them. And they don't actually know what the hell is going on at the core of Hoxus. And then they've called in an elite unit that we refer to as the Reclaimers.
Yes.
And in Rogue Core, they arrive on their spaceship, the Ramrod.
Yeah.
And they are there to take care of business.
Exactly. I mean, they're the ones that are kind of, we imagine them as being a team in the Deep Rock Galactic Corporation. These are the dwarves they're sending when stuff goes completely crazy.
Yes.
So, and they're coming here to pretty much insert next to the barrier that is preventing you from getting in there, and to get in.
Yeah, so that's like the flow that you. Let's go into the flow of what the game is. So you start on the spaceship.
On the Ramrod. You start on the Ramrod. And regarding that, so you have kind of 2 selections. You make your loadout, and you, as a Reclaimer, you get a Reclaimer weapon, and you get a face suit. And the face suit is pretty much something that you're wearing, and that it gives an ability that you are then able to activate during your play, and then you have the special weapon. And these are new weapons; these are not DRG weapons, or at least not the weapons that.
So the big thing here is that there are no classes. There are no classes like from Deep Rock Galactic. You are all just Reclaimers, and then you sort of build your class by combining a face suit and a starting gun.
Exactly, and of course, as you play and progress, you'll be able to unlock new ones. So you increase your choices.
And I think if you look at the screenshot here that we're showing in the background, so our idea is that the face suit comes with an ability that can be multiple different things, and we have a lot of prototypes on various ones.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's actually the time dilation prototype.
Time dilation, yeah.
Which slows everything down.
Super cool. You slow everything down and can then combat enemies.
Except for the dwarves. So the dwarves are still kind of moving quickly, and it's very good for aiming at weak spots and kind of getting a read on the situation. And because when they come down, they get inserted in front of this barrier, they go through, and where they're going is very dangerous. It is incredibly dangerous, and these are the dwarves for the job. These are the kind of snake eaters and stuff like that.
So basically, I mean, this barrier that we are talking about, I mean, Deep Rock, I mean, they can't send in a drop pod.
No.
Right? I mean, they can land outside it,
Yeah.
And then they can sort of walk into this zone with this limited equipment.
Yes.
And then as they progress in this abandoned or lost mining facility, they will find lost equipment that you know from Deep Rock Galactic, right?
Exactly.
And they can expand their equipment, their arsenal.
Totally. I mean, it is, of course, it is DRG's equipment, right? They're coming into this lost site, and they can find weapon caches, crates with stuff, things like that. And there they'll find weapons that are the DRG weapons, though, just disclaimer, again, because we're not in kind of, this is not part of DRG proper, these are being balanced towards Rogue Core and what Rogue Core needs from these weapons, and also the whole idea of kind of being able to find different variations of them, different power levels of them. And again, as you go through, right, you're going from kind of section of this dig site to section, going deeper and deeper, taking actually these elevators that you will have to activate.
This is a mining facility, right? So they have been established, and you're going to find a lot of this constructions and so on as you go down here.
Yes.
Going with elevators.
Yeah. But besides weapons, there's also, of course, this area, this dig site is full of Exponite, and this wonder material has properties where it can be used for a lot of things. And you have a special kind of processor drone with you, and you'll be able to. Not Molly.
Not Bosco.
Not Bosco. You'll be able to deposit Exponite, put Exponite into it, and once you kind of it has enough, it is able to then process this Exponite and create these temporary upgrades, power-ups for the team. And I think, can we get a screenshot of the negotiation screen? Yeah, that one. So one of the things, kind of as we were exploring this and playing around, we are approaching a co-op first mindset, just as we did with Deep Rock Galactic. And so besides, of course, the cooperative gunplay and traversal and all those things that exist in Deep Rock Galactic, we also wanted to have these other elements that we were now bringing in from this roguelite concepts, and we wanted to have power-ups and things like that. But we wanted you as a team to select these, to build not just for yourself, but to build the team, synergy across the builds of the different players, and so that you can select smart as a team and not just as an individual. And so when this drone processes Exponite, you'll get a screen something like this. That's the current version, where you have, and in this case, this is upgrades, right? They do different things.
And you have the ability to, I mean, we're also playing around right now. Of course, when we are testing it out, right, we are just constantly talking on Discord about what should we pick and what is suited for you and so on, and what are you trying to build and so on, right? But we also experimented with making it just like we are in DRG, that you can actually like an upgrade that you want. So if you are playing with randoms and you don't have voice chat available, you can actually still have some kind of communication here. And
I think that's super important. I mean, because again, we don't want this to just be potentially cooperative for a group of friends playing with voice or whatever. We want this to be cooperative at its core, and therefore we need to bring in these tools for players to use, no matter the kind of the makeup of the team, to be able to play this in kind of this cooperative way where they work together. And so yeah, just very quickly, you can see a lot of details on the screen. But that's a big thing there. And then, of course, you are growing in power, you are collecting Exponite, you are finding weapons, you are doing all the stuff. Then you will come to also areas, we're calling them mid-stations. There may be one, there may be more inside a single mission that you're doing. And this is also kind of a place where you can take a little bit of a break. You can also resupply, rethink some of your build strategies and things like that, and then move on. And then eventually, of course, you get to the core. And exactly what happens there, we're not ready.
And I think, yeah, exactly right. And I think that is like, what the hell is going on here, right?
Yeah.
And we are not really ready to tell about that yet.
Not yet.
And the reason why we're not ready is because we are still working on it.
We're still working it out ourselves.
And we don't know that much yet. But and we need to find out an angle for this. We have some ideas, but again, only pointers. We've been very much focused on just working on the gameplay. No graphics, no nothing, just getting the gameplay proven in a prototype.
Exactly.
All right. So maybe we should talk about where we are in the development and take a look at our roadmap.
Yeah, let's do that.
So this is the roadmap. You will also find that on the Steam store for Rogue Core.
Yes.
Basically just before we start going through the Rogue Core, I just want to say if there are people out on the chat who has questions. Probably not. I guess me and Mike are covering all angles. But if you have some burning questions, right, please write them on the chat, and then I think we will have time to answer some of your questions later. Just want to emphasize, what we are doing now is not. We're not going to cover all angles of what we are saying here. We'll probably do another live stream or something about that when we get a little bit later, and when the whole thing settles in that we are actually developing a new game. But anyways, write some questions, and then we'll try to answer some of them later. Yes. But let's go through the roadmap, Mike.
Yeah. So this one is showing actually also all the process that we've gone through ourselves. Now we're calling these different sections update 1, update 2, update 3. Of course, these are not externally available updates. This is kind of versions that we were playing ourselves. So we would work on it, kind of make a build so that other people in the office could play and talk about it and move on. So we are right now starting to work on update 4, which is theming and visual identity. But to get there, we first went through kind of this very rough prototype. I talked about it a bit before that, and then started kind of exploring adding these co-op mechanics and doing a roguelite as a co-op game, not just in its like combat mechanics, but in its like the whole progression mechanics in it as well, right? Then finally, with update 3, we kind of started looking at the Reclaimer's gear. So up until this point, we were just running with stock DRG guns. And we already could feel like, okay, we needed something different here, simply because we also needed weapons that could do special things that we need from them, regarding also like ammo capacity and things like that, and their relationship to each other. And now, of course, is the announcement. You see, that's ticked off. And we will be focusing on theming and visual identity. And what this means is that, kind of like Mikkel, like you said, there isn't much that we can show right now. It's all very rough. It's all very ugly. We've been able to scrape together some screenshots, but you can see there's no HUD on those because there is no HUD. I mean, the HUD is kind of like a mishmash of existing DRG stuff and programmer art and things like that. So now we really want to work on that so that as quickly as possible, we can come into a place where we can start showing Rogue Core in screenshots, maybe videos and things like that as we are working on it, so that you can come along with us on the journey.
You can also say that, I mean, we're also having a little bit of fun building like a spaceship. Now we have been doing like just the space rig, but actually doing a spaceship is different, and I think that is also breathing a lot of fresh air into the thing that we are.
The ramrod is super cool.
That we are abandoning the space rig and now moving to the ramrod. So so cool.
Yeah.
So
going further on, of course, the way this process is going right now, still super early days. So update 5, exactly what that's going to be is going to depend on where we are as we are doing the update 4. But there are a few things that we are kind of have focused on, goals, and that is in 2024. We want to have the closed alpha going in Q1. So that kind of means, in the first quarter of the year, for those that don't know. And then, of course, hitting the actual early access release in Q4. We're hoping for November. All these things, of course, subject to change as things are going, but we'll keep you up to date all the time.
Yeah, and I think if you want to stay up to date with what we're doing here, you should wishlist Rogue Core, you should follow Rogue Core, and you should. We are going to have a section on our Discord, right?
Yes.
For Deep Rock Galactic that will cover Rogue Core.
Yes.
And you can also look there for information about Rogue Core. So that's really where to go.
Yeah, and that's also going to be a place, kind of, you're saying, like later on as we're going, like from now on. Of course, you can write some questions right now, but also, I mean, Discord, as always, there'll be a section for talking about Rogue Core, and we'll be there and we'll be happy to talk. Of course, not at all hours of the day, but that will be a place where you can start doing that.
And then I think it's very early to talk about price point, right? But
reasonable? Is it going to be reasonable?
I was just wondering if you guys out there were wondering about that, and I think that it's something that is undecided, but we could totally imagine that you could maybe get a discount if you own Deep Rock Galactic, or we would bundle Deep Rock Galactic and Rogue Core together and sell it as a bundle. So multiple options here. We're also going into early access, so maybe Rogue Core will be a little bit cheaper, and then we'll increase the price as we move into the early to the full launch.
As we did with DRG.
Yeah. So yeah. And then after Rogue Core launch, we will continue supporting Rogue Core, but we'll also do Season 6 for Deep Rock.
Of course.
A lot of stuff to do there. And I think that just to address that, we haven't talked so much about Season 5 here, but Season 5 will be themed around Rogue Core, about the events that are taking place in Rogue Core. And then, of course, it will come with a lot of other features.
As usual.
As usual, yeah. So
and there's been a lot of requests as well.
Yeah,
and
so we are fully aware that we are, you can say, pushing expectation for when Season 5 would drop. But on the other hand, I think we're also super excited about actually doing something that feels a little bit different. And,
yes.
And I think that are pushing us, right, are challenging us. This is a big challenge, right, compared to what just doing another season. Not that we don't have fun doing another season, because we
and those are also challenging. I'm just
they're
going to say
also challenging, but it's just this thing about starting a new game and doing that. There's a completely different level of commitment.
The team's excited. And
yeah. So, but I don't know, guys. Are we ready for some questions?
Yes, we have some questions. All right. So, will Rogue Core be procedurally generated like Deep Rock?
Yeah.
Yes.
Short and sweet. Nice.
Yeah, it will. It will. I mean, we are again, all of the things we are saying now is up to change, right? We are right now looking at a construction where you are going to 4 or 5. It
would be even more, but
it could be even more stages, and we are sort of like, or you have been like redesigning the way that the caves are, because I think because of the speed that we want in this game, we have. You can say we're designing smaller cave systems.
Totally. I mean, the system is DRG system. We're still using the DRG tech for creating caves and all that stuff, and it's still taking place on Hoxus. So the biomes and stuff like that are still there. The bugs are also there. All that stuff. We are adding new things as well. But yeah, that core is there. But the flow of it, yeah. I mean, this is not. An egg hunt, and it is not an industrial sabotage or anything like that. I mean, it is its own thing, and the actual way the caves are set up is, of course, being made for it.
And I can say that right now in our prototype, we have actually removed all mining materials besides Expedite. So that is like the core focus of the mineral that you're gonna mine. Then of course you still have a pickaxe. You're using your pickaxe to change the terrain or dig through dirt and all the things.
100%.
Right? And actually, I think now we're talking about that. I just want to say another thing, which is with traversal tools. Traversal tools, you don't come with traversal tools. So you're also, as you progress through the caves, you're gonna discover traversal tools.
Yes.
So traversal is gonna be a little bit different, feel different than it is in Deep Rock Galactic.
100%.
Yeah, and I have a question that ties into that actually. So we have a question from the chat here. Will Rogue Core gain its own identity, and will the dwarves be different from the mining team that we're used to?
Yeah,
they are. It already has that. So they are not the same dwarves.
They're the reclaimers. They are.
They're not miners.
Our goal is that they look so badass that they can clearly kick the dwarves and. Kick the butt on the dwarves in Deep Rock.
Oh no! I mean, if in a bar fight, I think it might be up for grabs.
But maybe, but they're way more professional. They're way more.
Yeah, and they're a different kind of tough.
Yeah, they're a different kind of tough.
Yeah,
they are an elite unit.
Exactly. Right? Whereas, right, the DRG dwarves,
they're still dwarves, but they're still dwarves.
They're still dwarves.
So elite unit, but still dwarves.
Yes.
Oh, I'm just going to repeat that real quick. So another question is, will Rogue Core be a more dark and grim version of Deep Rock?
Yeah, I think that is we are looking into doing that.
100%, but to an extent. I mean, just so it is still taking place in Deep Rock Galactic, and it is still being made by us. So I think there is also an element of what the dwarves in DRG are, like in that universe are. But we are actually very much looking at making this.
I think
more
I think horror.
Scary.
I mean, when you're doing a co-op game, right? Horror is almost
Impossible.
It's very challenging, right? Because you are sitting and chatting with your friends and you're having fun, and then horror is just a strange mix in there. But you can have something that is more, as you say, dark and grim. And I think we are gonna go for that. That whatever you are gonna encounter is gonna be worse than anything you have seen in Deep Rock Galactic.
100%.
All right, so you already touched upon this, but just for the people that are trickling in, is Deep Rock going to go away after Rogue Core releases?
No,
not at all.
Not at all. We are gonna continue supporting Deep Rock Galactic.
Yes.
Awesome.
New seasons are coming.
Cool.
More questions?
No, I think that's it.
But then I guess there's 100 more questions out there. But we'll see if we find another time to answer them.
But again, very quickly, the Steam store page is up. So go take a look. Wishlist if it's something that looks like you're interested in. Follow it to be able to get information on it as well. We'll be making a section in our Discord for this, and I believe Jakob is also setting a subreddit up at some point.
And also I'm gonna say Rock and Stone will be part of Rogue Core. So
that is true.
Rock and Stone.
Stone.
So we are coming to a conclusion now on the stream, and I think before we wrap it up, I'll just go through a roadmap of everything that you have seen and heard during the last 2 hours here. And so first off, now you're gonna get this in a chronological order. Deep Rock Galactic board game expansion. It is live. What happened? I just lost.
Well, thank you for watching. Yes.
Thank you for watching.
Hey, we're back.
That was a little bit early, Mark. All right. Anyways, so the Deep Rock Galactic board game expansion is live on Kickstarter. You can go and back it right now as I speak. Then we have demos live right now as well on Deep Rock Galactic Survivor and SpellRogue. They will participate in the next fest, so you have multiple weeks.
Time. They're cool.
Yeah. Then in 24 in January or early in Q1, we will have both SpellRogue and Survivor launching into early access. In June 24, we will release season 5 of Deep Rock Galactic, and that will work as a prelude to Rogue Core.
Yes.
Then in Q4, by the end of Q4, I'm pretty sure we will launch Rogue Core into early access. And then we have early 25, we have Dino Lords moving into early access. And then season 6 is undecided and unannounced yet. And same goes for DarkSwarm. Yes. But it is not happening before 25.
No.
So that was a wrap up of all the information we have presented to you today. And I think now maybe we should just have everyone come and say goodbye. Maybe we can do a small, I don't know, a Rock and Stone.
Oh no, Alex is bringing the weapon.
Did I do something wrong?
Yes.
We should not have announced Rogue Core. All right. So, should we do a Rock and Stone? All right, guys, and everyone out there, do it with us. Rock and Stone! All right. Thank you all for watching. It has been a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to reading all your comments and feedbacks on all the information that we have been giving you today. So
yes. Jakob, is the Discord thing up? Is the Discord thing up? Okay, so the Discord section is up. So see you there.
See ya. Bye.